The tickets for a Rob Cantor show are $5 each. Surveys show that they will sell 350 tickets. For every $1 increase in price, the show will sell 10 fewer tickets. What is the maximum revenue Rob Cantor and his associates can make off their cheesy parody show? First, we need to find the important information. The initial number of tickets sold is 200, and there will be a decrease in sales in multiples of 10. We can show this by writing bracket 200 subtract 10x bracket. The initial price of the tickets is $5, but there are $1 increases in price. We can show this by writing bracket 5 plus 1x bracket, which equals bracket 5 plus x bracket. Now we have to put this into an equation. Let x be the number of increases in price and let r equal revenue. R equals the number of tickets sold multiplied by price. So if we add our values,
R equals bracket 350 minus 10x bracket multiplied by bracket 5 plus 1x bracket.
we have to simplify the equation and it becomes
R equals 1750 plus 350x minus 50x minus 10x squared.
If we further simplify this equation, it becomes r equals negative 10x squared plus 300x plus 1750. Now we have to simplify the equation, and it ends up being r equals negative 10 bracket x to the power of 2
Plus 30x bracket
plus 1750. Now we have to simplify the part inside the bracket by dividing the second coefficient by 2 and squaring it. Then we put this value into the bracket. We write r equals negative 10 bracket x squared
plus 30x
225 minus 225 bracket plus 1750. We add and subtract the value of 225 because 225 plus negative 225 equals 0. Therefore, we are not changing the equation. Then we must move the negative value out of the equation while still multiplying it by the coefficient of negative 10. Now our equation is r equals negative 10 bracket x squared
plus 30x
225 bracket minus 225 times negative 10 plus 1750. If we simplify our equation, we get r equals negative 10 bracket x squared minus
plus 30x
plus 225 bracket plus 4000. Now we can factor with a shortcut because we know that a squared plus 2ab plus b squared equals bracket a plus b bracket squared. Now our equation is r equals negative 10
bracket x plus 15x bracket squared
plus 4000. The original question was, what is the maximum revenue Rob Cantor can make? The maximum is y, and the y value in this question is the part that is not in brackets, which is 4,000. Therefore, the maximum revenue that can be made is $4,000. Robbie sells Christmas mugs with bad math puns for $5 every Christmas, and he sells 450 before Black Friday. For every 50-cent price reduction, he sells 5 more mugs and adds a new pun design. How many price reductions must he make to get maximum revenue? In order to solve this dilemma, we need to create an equation in the form y equals a bracket x minus h bracket squared plus k, like we did for the previous revenue question. Before we can do this, we need to identify our variables. Let r be our revenue and let x be the number of price reductions. The number of sales is 500, unaffected by the x value. The sales increased by 5 multiplied by our x value, or the number of price reductions. To show this part in our equation, we write 450 plus 5x. The initial price of $5 is an independent variable, unaffected by our x value. However, our unknown revenue decreases by 50 cents. We can show this in one part of the equation by writing 5 minus 0.5x. We subtract 0.5x because our price is decreasing. Now we have to put the different parts of the equation together. As said before, r equals our revenue, so the equation will be r equals
number of mugs sold multiplied by the price.
Therefore, our equation is r equals bracket 450 plus 5x bracket 5 minus 0.5x bracket. Now we need to take this equation and put it into y equals a bracket x minus h bracket squared plus k form. We can do this by expanding the initial equation. 450 multiplied by 5 is 2,250. 450 multiplied by negative 0.5x is negative 225x. 5x multiplied by 5 is 25x. Then if we multiply 5x by negative 0.5x, we get negative 2.5x squared. If we rearrange, we get the new equation r equals negative 2.5x squared minus 200x plus 2,250. Now we have to factor out negative 2.5 to get a coefficient of 1 for x squared. That gives us r equals negative 2.5 bracket x squared plus 80x bracket plus 2,250. Now to factor the part in brackets, we divide the second coefficient by 2, then square the value. We add and subtract this to the equation, so we won't be changing the equation. We do 80 divided by 2, all squared. In this equation, 80 divided by 2 equals 40. 40 squared equals 1,600. We get r equals negative 2.5 bracket x squared plus 80x plus 1,600
minus 1,600 bracket.
plus 2,250. Then we move the negative 1,600 outside the brackets, making sure to multiply it by the coefficient, and we get r equals negative 2.5 bracket x squared plus 80x plus 1,600 bracket minus 1,600 multiplied by negative 2.5 plus 2,250. We multiply the negative 1,600 by negative 2.5 because it isn't inside the brackets, so it is not multiplied by negative 2.5 or the a value. If negative 1,600 isn't multiplied by the a value, it does not cancel out the positive 1,600 which is inside the brackets and multiplied by the a value, and we would be changing the equation. Now we can simplify our equation to get r equals negative 2.5 bracket x squared plus 80x plus 1,600 bracket plus 4,000 plus 2,250. Finally, we can simplify and we get the final equation r equals negative 2.5 bracket x plus 40 bracket squared plus 6,250. The minimum is the y value in a vertex, and the vertex of this equation is v bracket negative 40, comma 6,250 bracket. Therefore, the maximum revenue Robbie can make is $6,250. You are a jiu-jitsu instructor. Each class is $300 with 20 students per class. If for every $20 decrease, 5 extra students sign up, what's the maximum revenue that can be made? First, we find the variables, as said earlier. They are $300, $20 multiplied by the number of decreases, 20 students, and 5 multiplied by the number of decreases.
Let r be revenue and let x be the number of decreases in price.
Now we have to put this into an equation. R equals the price multiplied by the number of students. R equals 300 subtract 20x multiplied by 20 plus 5x. Remember, we only use x for the variables whose value is affected by the number of decreases. Now we have to expand the equation. When we expand it, we end up with r equals 6,000 plus 1,500x minus 400x minus 100x squared. If we simplify this even more, it will become r equals negative 100x squared plus 1,100x plus 6,000. Now we have to put it into y equals a bracket x minus h bracket squared plus k form. We make the x value have a coefficient of 1 by factoring out the first coefficient and making it the a value. Our equation will become r equals negative 100 bracket
X squared minus 11x bracket.
plus 6,000. Now to factor the equation, we have to complete the square by adding and subtracting the second coefficient divided by 2, all squared. Now our equation is r equals negative 100 bracket x squared minus 11x plus 30.25 bracket minus 30.25 multiplied by negative 100 plus 6,000. If we simplify this, our equation is r equals negative 100 bracket x squared minus 11x plus 30.25 bracket plus 9,025. Finally, we can simplify this by dividing the second coefficient by 2 and taking away the value unaffected by the x value. Now our equation is r equals negative 100 bracket x minus 5.5 bracket squared plus 9,025. To find the maximum revenue, we need to find the maximum, which is the y value. Our y value is 9,025. Therefore, the maximum revenue that can be made is $9,025.